And those are our Wii U nominees for Game of the Year on GameSpot.com. Okay. Good year for the Wii U, it turns out. 2014. Bunch of great games.
Oh, yeah.
Best year. I just picked one up last week. Turns out there's a bunch of great games for it. Who knew? The interesting discussion here in relation to scores. First of all, I want to bring up GameSpot's first 10 in a number of years, Bayonetta 2. Chris, you enjoyed this bad boy, right?
I've only scratched the surface with Bayonetta 2, but it's entirely based on Mark Walton's review. I mean, GameSpot's given, I think, 8 10s in its entire 18-year history. So, you know, the guard changes, but the standards stay the same. And for a game to earn a 10 on GameSpot, it has to be phenomenal and just an essential part of the collection for that console, that system that it's on. And Bayonetta is, you know, by all accounts, just an immaculate action game. Just the pacing of the action and the systems and the combat mechanics and how they all flow together so seamlessly, just make it an incredible accomplishment.
And it's a beautiful experience. It's got like these incredible set pieces that are so ornate, and to see it happening,
super bonkers.
Yeah, and to see this like running on the Wii U as well as it does is pretty crazy, because it's got a reputation among, you know, like people who like to argue system wars, like that the Wii U is underpowered. You'd be hard pressed to say that watching this game in action.
And this isn't the kind of game that you typically get on Wii U. This is a much more adult game in some ways. I mean, it doesn't have a ridiculous amount of blood or anything like that, but much more adult than most of the nominees.
It has a lot more butts than Mario
Kart. And Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, another nominee, and one which...
Well, that's just all butt. Donkey Kong is no pants.
It's a game that a lot of vigilant GameSpot users will be like, wait a second, back in February you guys gave this a 6 out of 10. What's it doing on top 5 games of the year?
And most interestingly, it came from the same reviewer that gave Bayonetta a 10.
Yes, interesting. Yeah, Mark Walton, of course, from our UK office. So what is it about DK, and why do we have a game that got 6 out of 10 in our list?
I mean, that's the thing. The same way that some people would give Bayonetta 2 a 10, that same person then isn't here in this room. Like, I wouldn't necessarily score that the same way. And Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze is a game that, for a lot of us, is a lot more beloved. That is a game that was, for some of us, 9s and 10s.
Yeah, and I think, you know, his biggest problem, Mark Walton, stemmed from the fact that he had a hard time, like, simply flowing through the levels, as it were, and that sort of prevented him from making progress or having a lot of fun. But this game is hard.
Yeah.
It looks, you know, childish, but it is very, very hard. But it's got some really ingenious level design, both from an artistic and, like, you know, a actual, like, you know, functional level. And it's, for me, it's one of my favorite games of the year on the Wii U. I mean, for it to get a 6 was very shocking for me, personally.
And you're not the only one. There were a lot of voices clamoring for Tropical Freeze in the discussion. And I think these discussions are what makes GameSpot's Game of the Year awards so special, is because while a review, you know, we always stand by our reviews, and they always, you know, reflect the opinion of the reviewer, and they've backed it up well. We are a collection of individuals as well, and so coming together to sort of discuss these games and hash out which ones we think, the ones that rise to the top are the best ones.
Yeah, and there's so many great games came out this year, but we're also going to get quite a lot of repetition, and we have our first repeat visitor of the year coming up in the Wii U category. Shovel Knight's back.
Yeah, and the same things that made it wonderful on the 3DS also make it wonderful on Wii U. It's graphically a very similar experience. On the Wii U, you don't have the same Street Pass functionality, of course, but it's still just such an amazing platforming game. In addition to, as Peter mentioned, the different gameplay mechanics that borrow from not just other old-school platformers, but modern games like Dark Souls.
And they're mixed really well, too.
And our second repeat visitor of the day, another one we just had from the 3DS, is Super Smash Bros. But fair to say it's a fairly different experience on the Wii U.
The Super Smash Bros. On Wii U not only adds a lot of functionality that we didn't get on the 3DS version, it's a game that is much friendlier on the Wii. On the TV screen, of course. You have a lot more screen real estate. You have a lot more people you can play with. I mean, they upped the number of competitors to 8 if you want a really, really insane experience. But this is a game that, you know, traditionally we sit around and we play couch co-op, and you can punch someone in the arm if they're getting the better of you, and just be that kind of physical, real game.
Already 4 fantastic contenders there in our nominees for Best Wii U Game of the Year. And the last one, it wouldn't be a year with a Nintendo console without at least one Mario game making it in there. And Mario Kart 8 is a game that's been popular throughout the office.
Absolutely. I mean, this is this game and Smash Brothers was sort of one of the heated ones. I mean, they were both gonna, you know, make it onto the list, but then when we were sort of debating their merits, I think people whose, like, my go-to like end of the day in the office game is Smash Brothers. Well, ours is in the UK it's Mario Kart 8. Here it's a little bit Smash. But then we have people defecting on other sides. I mean, this is just this. It's that same kind of formula that has worked so well over the years, but I think the Wii U version thrives in a way that previous Mario Karts. I mean, they keep setting the bar higher and higher.
Mm-hmm. And Nintendo games are always going to be near the top of the nominee list for a Nintendo console for the Wii U Game of the Year because they make such fun, friendly experiences that even maybe if you're not a kart racing fan or a Mario Kart fan, this is an easy game to jump into and learn how to play. The same with Smash Brothers. Even if you're not a fighting game fan, it's a quick, easy to pick up and play game.
Yeah, 5 strong nominees there for Best Wii U Game of the Year, and you can find it Who Wins GameSpot's Best Wii U Game of the Year 2014 in just a couple of days on December 13th. So make sure you come back.